Pricing is one of the most crucial aspects for any business, but it can be the most complicated task for a handmade business. And in today's video, I am going to share with you guys how I price my products so that it can help you all to price your products in the future. Hi guys, I am Akansha Sahgal and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome to my channel. If you're someone who loves DIYs, crafts and want to know more about a crafting business and dive into my journey, then make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. So we all know that pricing is one of the most important part of any business because it not only helps you in recovering your costs but also helps you in gaining profit so that you can sustain your business in the long run. But for a business like the business that deals in handmade products and especially custom made products, it becomes very difficult for people to set the prices, as it's not only the cost of raw material that goes into making a product but also a lot of labor cost and the efforts cost that goes into making a product, and people most of the times forget to include the costs of labor and effort while calculating their pricing. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you all how I price my products, what is the formula that I use to price my products, and I hope this formula can help you guys in setting prices for your own products. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So there are a lot of formulas out there on the internet which tells you how to price your products, but I am going to tell you this thing quickly that do not follow those formulas blindly, because it depends on the industry you are in. Basically, are you in paper crafts or are you doing mixed media, all sorts of that stuff, the area of your operations, basically the country you live in, the place you live in, because it affects the pricing to a lot of extent, and you need to consider all these things while taking up a formula to price your products. And also it comes with time. Initially you will be doing a lot of trials and errors, like selecting the formula which suits you best, but please understand this thing that do have a formula, do try and make a formula of your own that suits your needs and that suits your business requirements in the area you are working in. Now, how I do it is basically, first things first, I consider the cost of raw materials that goes into making a product. For example, I have this small dream catcher here. So when I am making this dream catcher and I want to fix the pricing for this, I'll see what all material goes into making this dream catcher, like the ring, the thread, the feather, the beads and everything. And I'll take the cost of each thing that goes into making this, and then I'll have my final cost of raw materials that goes into this. Now when you are calculating the cost of raw materials, it is so important for you to have the costs of your raw materials properly with you. I have discussed about the costing mistakes that people usually do in my previous videos, and I'll leave a link to that here and in the description box below, because costing actually creates the base for everything, and if you're not doing your costing right, it is going to cost you while pricing your products as well. So make sure you're watching that video after this one. But once you have the costing for the raw materials, now let's say for example the ring costs me 5 rupees, the feather costs me 4 rupees, the bead costs me 6 rupees and the thread costs me 10 rupees in all, and that will give me my final costing of this dream catcher in terms of raw material. Now once I have my raw materials cost with me, I'll calculate my labor charges for making that particular product. So now suppose I have fixed 60 rupees per hour as my wage, and I can make 3 of these dream catchers in 1 hour. So I'll divide that 60 by 3 because I'm charging 60 rupees for 1 hour, and in that 1 hour I'm making 3 of these dream catchers. So for one dream catcher, it will come up to rupees 20, and the total cost of making this dream catcher in terms of raw material and labor will be 50 rupees. So the labor cost depends on the industry you are working in, the complexity of the products you are making, and various other factors that affect your handmade products. So the labor cost will be different for every individual, and it solely depends on your understanding, on your efforts that you are putting in to make your products. So labor cost will come after a lot of trials and errors. You might fix a labor cost initially and you'll feel that you are putting efforts more than the amount that you are charging, and you need to change that later on. You have to try things out and see what works best for you. So in short, you need to come up with a certain amount of money that can compensate for the efforts that you put in that 1 hour to make a particular product. Now when I have the sum total of the costs of raw material and the labor hours, I multiply the sum with 2. Now this multiplier solely depends on your industry, your product that you are making. For me, I have kept it 2, and that multiplier is basically something that multiplies my cost, and it helps me in covering my overhead costs, and also it helps me in making profits. So this multiplier should be a number that helps you in not just making profits, but also a number that helps you in covering your overhead costs as well. There are a lot of costs like rent, salaries, cost of tools and equipment that goes in when you are working in a business. So you really need to cover those costs, and those costs cannot be covered through one product only. It needs to be distributed among the products, and this is how I do it. I multiply my total cost with 2, and that multiplier of 2 helps me in recovering my overhead costs, as well as helps me in generating profits for my business so that I can sustain in the long run. So when I have done the whole procedure, my cost came up to 50 rupees. So I'll multiply it by 2, and the pricing for this dream catcher will finally be rupees 100. I'll sell it for rupees 100 in the market. Now when you're pricing your products, it is really important that you see what are the prices that are going on in your industry for similar products, because this will help you to know the industry price of a particular product. Obviously that will be different for every individual, and I request you guys, never copy the prices of any other person. You need to do the research, that is for sure, but you need to do the research just to know the average pricing of the industry. Why I say that you should not copy the prices blindly is because you do not know what is the costing of raw materials that they are putting in, what is the labor charges that they are considering while calculating the costs, what is the multiplier or basically the profit margins that they are putting. So just research for the prices in the industry just to get an idea that you are not overpricing your products in terms of the industry level. Also, one thing, when you're just starting out, you might feel like selling the products on a little discounted price as compared to your actual prices that you have calculated. For example, I calculated rupees 100 for my dream catcher. I might sell it for 80 or 90 rupees initially, just to gain the initial traction and build that trust with the customers, but still it gives me a good amount of money to sustain my business, even if I'm giving it at a discounted price. So it is very important that you select your multiplier very carefully, because if your multiplier is not good, it might get difficult for you to give any kind of discounts, or it might get difficult for you when you are taking wholesale orders, bulk orders, and there you need to quote prices which are lesser than your retailing price. So when you are keeping good amount of margins, it is easier for you to go in the wholesale market as well and do not lose money even if you're giving discounts. So to conclude everything, I would just like to say that there are a lot of people who just keep their prices just like that, just on assumptions basis and everything. Do not do that. Always make up a formula for your business. There might be some failures initially while setting up the formula, but once you get the right formula, it will become so easy for you. Because if you do not have a formula and you are setting your prices just like that, it will become a habit and there will be no clarity whether you are making profits, what is the costing of the product. You'll have no idea about any of the financials in a good way so that you can make profits, and that is going to cost you in the long run. So this was it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I hope these tips were helpful for you, and this is a formula that I follow for my business, and this is not something I learned from the internet. It is from my experience, and your numbers, your amounts may vary from mine, and that is completely okay. Just see what works for you, and do let me know in the comment section below what are the topics that you want me to cover in the upcoming videos. And make sure you're subscribed to my channel so that you do not miss the notifications for new videos from my channel. And yes, this was pretty much it for today, and I'll see you super soon in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.